Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays The Binding of Isaac. Afterbirth Plus. Wait a minute. We have 1,001%. 1,001% Isaac. What are we missing? Check your collection page. If there's any missing item, there's no bug. No, unlocking an item is not enough to add it to the list. Reruns, victory laps. I mean, I got... Hi, I don't know how many achievements I got. What am I missing? I might be missing something in the bestiary. You need to get every collection item except the ones added for the booster pack. Man, I'm in this Isaac thread right now. Open the secrets menu. NL was missing some achievements he already had, and opening the menu fixed it. Oh, dude. Give me a second. Secrets? We're missing Secret 339. Secret 339. Isaac. Secret 339. We need to get the broken modem? Is that true? Obtain all items and stat, complete all bestiary, earn all other achievements and secrets. Are we missing something in the bestiary? What a world. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? What? We're missing one enemy in the bestiary. Who is that? Oh, like this is like Sherlock Holmes, dude. Isaac Bestiary. Okay. We're on page what? Give me a second here. Okay, go all the way back. All the way back. All the way back. Okay, page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's page 9, right? No, I'm stupid. It's page 10. We are missing blue conjoined fatty. So you know this guy right here? Like this is gonna be right there. There's a blue version of him, which you've seen many times before. I recognize the blue version of him. We've never seen him, though. Wow. Who would have thought the final thing to get 1,001% would be that? Now, I want to point out, this means A2QW, oh my god, we have 0.48 speed. QS4H. What this means is that we actually, at the present moment, oh, it's not even wait what. We have 1,001%. We do. And you're gonna say that's not fair. I know. Here's why I say we have it. All we gotta do is put in a seed, and we get it. That's mission accomplished, you know, problem solved. Am I gonna do it? I'd rather find it in the wild, you know, because it doesn't really... The thing is, 1,001% is not a destination, it's a journey, you know? It's the friends we made along the way. So don't sweat it. Maybe we'll seed it up, and you can get that endorphin rush from a quick little 1,001%. But we've earned it. We should enjoy, you know, our situation as it is, and, you know, it's cause for celebration. Grab a drink, grab a glass. After that, I'll grab your what? That's a... It's a Kanye West lyric. Hey, mister. I cannot abide this awful damage, or awful speed statistic right now. We will die if we don't improve it. If we don't improve it, or like drastically improve our damage. Because like right now it's good, but finger plus 7 rate of fire times 2.5 repeating, of course, not gonna do it long term. So we have a much better setup right now. I think we can win. I mean, of course, you know, you want to be optimistic about your runs in pretty much all these situations, and tend not to be that difficult most of the time to begin with, even though I've got more losses than I'd like to admit recently. I think I've been maybe like on a few month spell of kind of like below average play. Not outwardly terrible most of the time, but, you know, it could be a lot better consistently. Oh, careful there, mister. How are we getting speed out of this situation? There is no I was gonna say there is no speed, as if this was, you know, 1999 and I wanted to quote The Matrix. Hey, have you seen this little known sci-fi film? Answer, probably. I'm actually even more salty about our speed right now because we could do a lot with Thunder Thighs if it didn't nerf our speed so drastically. You know, we'd find ourselves in a situation where perhaps we'd like Chariot for the next floor, but where we'd step on every single rock, and by stepping on every single rock, much more likely to find like a black market, for example, and maybe we could get some freaking speed if we found a black market. That's all I'm trying to throw out here. That's what I'm really trying to say. So originally, I was going to use strength here. The strength of street knowledge. There's a throwback. Dodged about 100 minutes in advance there, but still took damage because of the fact that our speed is so low. I digress, but you know, it is, like, remarkably bad. I'm not trying to be Mr. Complainy, as I often, you know, say. I try to strive to be positive, especially, you know, in these episodes. I like to be positive about this stuff, but 0.48 is not bad speed. It's absolutely horrendous speed. Rate of fire plus finger, doing a lot for us, though. You know, I always like to... Oh, no. Health down. It's like people give you... There's something called a sandwich method for giving criticism. I don't know if it's from How to Win Friends and Influence People. I can't remember. It's been a long, long time. But, yeah, sure. The idea behind the sandwich method is if you're going to give somebody a criticism, the best way to do it is to nestle it between two compliments. So let's say, you know, you got somebody at work and, you know, you're their boss and they haven't been doing their job lately. Or they haven't been doing as well as possible. You'd be like, hey, you know, just so you know, I've always... Why not? You know, I've always admired the way that you handle yourself at work. That being said, I've noticed lately that your drive is not really, like, where it seemed to be in the past. And I wanted to talk about that so we can get back to the excellent results that you've always provided to this company. Or something like that, even if two of them are alive. And it is manipulative. But I have to... If the person that you're talking to isn't aware of the fact that you're kind of infantilizing them, then it's not necessarily a negative thing. And it's a way that people can... Maybe find a gentler way to accept criticism is a good way to describe that. So, that's what I feel about this run, is like, hey, you know, our stats are not great. So what do we say? Well, you know, the finger has been doing a lot of good work for us, and that makes up for the fact that I do have to admit, our speed is genuinely terrible right now, and honestly, if we want to win, it needs to be worked on. It needs some improvement. That being said, thank you so much, for that, combined with our amazing spacebar item so far for really helping us out. We're going to get ourselves out of that situation. I'm going to be honest, kind of botched it a little bit, but you get the general idea. You know why I think the sandwich method is actually, you know, the general spirit of it? Because I don't know, anytime you call something the blank method, it starts to sound a little weird. But, I think it's good, because just in general, if you want people to take your complaints seriously, you should praise twice as much as you complain, because then it's gonna make people take your complaints much more seriously. If you talk to somebody and, you know, every time you talk to them, they're complaining about, oh, this bus is loud, oh, yeah, it's not raining today, but, oh, we could really use the rain. You know, if they're always gonna be negative, then if they're like, oh, my stomach hurts, you're not like, you know, you don't take them that seriously. If you're talking to somebody and they're always like, yeah, the weather sucks today, but I hear it's going to be excellent tomorrow, or, you know, wow, this bus has got a lot of character. What a fun ride. You know, okay, this is a bad example. You get the idea. If they go, my stomach hurts, you're going to be like, are you okay? We are going to go to the hospital immediately. So, okay, let's go for it. You know, if we're going to go full ridiculous on this run, let's do so immediately. That's why I think it's important, and I recognize the irony here as somebody who, at least on the show, complains all the time. But it's kind of, you know, I'm wary of this defense in all circumstances, but it is a character. Give me this. They're both good here, but, you know, we're playing things up for comedic effect. If you were around somebody and all they did was complain like we complain on the show, you would think that something is wrong with them, and you would probably be right. That's why it's important to be, you know, as positive as possible. You shouldn't be needlessly positive, or that's not a good way to describe that, because you're probably not hurting anybody. Everybody knows somebody who's positive about, like, just about everything, and it's annoying, because you're like, it sounds like you're putting on an act. But if you're negative about everything, it's like poisonous. I'm talking to you, Twitch chat. Well, at least our speed has improved. This, why is it, shots from one of our eyes look bigger than the shots from the other, but I might just have, maybe it's my own myopia, you know, coming through there. It's myopia. Yeah, well, did you not hear what I just said about negativity? Look at me rephrase that in a different way, perhaps. Hey, NL, the way that you speak is very eloquent and amazing. Thank you so much for that. But by the way, your pronunciation sucks, but you got a cool scalp. See you later. Anyway. How's this run looking? The damage is outrageous. Why is our rate of fire worse than it used to be? Did Dunce Cap lower our rate of fire? Is this something I should have realized like the last 6 times we took Dunce Cap but didn't? Maybe. Well, you gotta move. I mean, maybe it won't even help you at 0.7 speed, but just to put it in perspective again, not trying to be Mr. Complaining. 0.7 speed is Maggie's starting speed if you don't get the speed pill, like before you unlock all the good stuff with Maggie. So we're way, way back in the achievement list. Hierophant's great. Judgment is actually really good as well. And Demon Judgment is even, you know, kind of what we're looking for, to be honest with you. Let's grab this real quick. Ace of Diamonds. You're not gonna love what I'm gonna do here, but the fact that we got Old Bandage to pay out makes it a little bit more serviceable. We paid a Spirit Heart, we got Crow Heart, which we don't really love. We're gonna go fairly deep on this, because we are looking for items. Like, we want to be spoiled here. Missing page 2, not good. There's not much positive spin to put on that one, but hey, here's a positive spin for you. We got lots of HP where that came from. Here's a little tactical mushroom action there. Solid shiitake. You know, I was trying. Metal Gear shiitake, that's a much better way to... Morel Gear shiitake. There's the joke. Tactical fungal action. Fungal espionage action. Tactical champignon. Tactical... This is what it's like to be inside of my brain. It would be less of a prison if the jokes were good. Come on, just give me a speed upgrade. We all know that's where we're trending here. You know there's going to be a speed upgrade at some point here. So we've been to our shop. Our shop has a gift in it. We could use the gifts. I don't think it's good. Anything with an uncertain outcome, you got to be careful with if you're trying to play conservatively, which obviously I'm like probably the most conservative Isaac player on the planet. If we get a deal with the devil and we're not holding the gift at the time, it would have been nice to get the gift and carry it. However, you know, you got to multiply that by the dampening factor, you know, of me not really being an enormous fan of walking backwards with 0.7 speed and a curse that doesn't allow us to figure out where the F we're standing with respect to the map. It's a whole, it's a ball of wax, it's a can of worms, it's a, you know, other idioms from the turn of the 18th century. Dude, you know what? So I talk about this on occasion. I really think we haven't been to our item room yet. Let's do that first while we're going off on this tangent. A little risky. I had a feeling. I could smell the explosion on that mushroom, and then I had to know. I had to know if it was going to do it to me. As I've said, one thing is like, you know, when I was 10 and I met a 30-year-old, I was going, you are a senior citizen. You're ancient. You know, now when I meet a 30-year-old, which is my peers, basically, I'm like, we're young. And they're like, yeah, I mean, like, not young, but we're, like, pretty young. And I'm like, yeah, we're good. Don't worry about it. You know? When I look at a 50-year-old, I'm like, those are my people still. You know, the peer group has changed. It's gotten much larger as you get older. I was realizing the other day, I was listening to this podcast about things that happened in the 1700s. And somewhere along the line, My brain has taken it to its own logical extreme. Yo, that's so good. As long as our shots still have... Yeah, they got the necessary range. That's great. The 1700s no longer feel that long ago to me. And it really depends on what you define as that long. Because obviously they're like many, many human lifetimes ago. But I was thinking about it in context, and I was like, well, if you think about like the Second World War. I didn't fight in the Second World War. I don't know how old you think I am. But I did not. But there are people still alive who did fight in the Second World War. If you were 18 in, let's say, 1942, you're like 90-something years old right now. You know, I'm fighting Gertie, okay? It's important stuff, Mom. I can't do my math homework right now. That's old, no question about it. But there are living people who, like, fought in World War II. That's crazy. So that's not old. If there's still people alive who can give you a first-hand recollection of it, happened a long time ago, sure, but not old. Then I was thinking about World War I. I don't know if there's any living World War I veterans. They would be extremely old. Not to insult them. I mean, they would be ancient, right? But there might be, I don't know if there's maybe one left on planet Earth or something like that, but either way. But there's definitely people alive whose parents fought in World War I, or whose fathers, I guess, fought in World War I, or their parents lived through World War I. That can't be that old. You know, so and I just started following the chain back, and I was like, okay, if you stacked like 5 of the oldest people on Earth back to back, you could hit like, well, let's see. You could hit like the 1600s, probably. I know you'd have to have like many 100-year-olds in a row, which is probably pretty unlikely. And by pretty unlikely, I mean like one in a, maybe several hundred million, maybe even more than that. I mean, what are the odds of living to 100? Not like one. For us, higher, but like, and then if you were born in 1950, what are the odds that you make it to 2050? I guess we wouldn't know yet. If you were born in, let's say if you were born in 1918, how many people born in 1918 that lived to adulthood, let's say, are still alive today? 0.1%? I think that's pretty modest. You know, that's an interesting question. Thank you, brain. How many people live to be 100? Google says, what percentage of the population? Wow, it's so much lower than expected. Population of United States centenarians over time. In 2010, there's 53,000 people that are centenarians. That's 0.01% of the population. So if you were born in 1910, 0.0173. You had like a 1 in 10,000, slightly better than a 1 in 10,000 shot of living to be 100 years old. That's still some low odds, dude. But I was like, if you got 5 of those people in a row, which now I'm realizing is like, okay, what's 1 in 10,000 times 10,000 times 10,000 times 10,000? But if you know, maybe it's got less of a random chance because of genetics, but we're ignoring that because it's irrelevant for our purposes right now. That's not that old to go back to the 1700s. Now, when I see like year 0, I'm like, damn, dude, that's old. You ancient. When I see the 1700s, it's not like I consider them contemporaries. I mean, probably had a lot of what I would describe as outdated ideas about life, science, physics, etc., etc. Ooh, this is pretty good. But still, like, you know, they're people like us. They're not so far away. We probably got more in common than we do in divergence, you know? It's crazy to think, you know? I'm on a different question, which is the percentage of the population that lives to a certain degree. What's funny is that from 1950 to 2010, 10 times the population, like proportionally, is centenarians. I'm assuming not many of the people who were centenarians in 1950 are still alive to this day. Ha, it's really funny, people died. Yo, but they were historically old. At what point when you die does it stop being a tragedy and it starts being like a celebration? You know, it's still sad at all times, I think. You know, even when a 100-year-old dies, you're like, it's sad. He's always been around. Thought he was never going to leave. We made the joke he's going to outlive all of us. But, you know, when a 40-year-old dies, everyone goes, it's too soon. And it is. When a 90-year-old dies, people are sharing stories, right? You're going to the wake and you're going, he lived a good life. Had to happen at some point, even though you know we all gotta go, but as long as we leave in thieving, we'll be leaving with some kind of dough. Alright, so we're gonna play this again. We got a real chance at boss rush. Like, this run has all of a sudden started to pop off. And hey, 1 speed. What a world. Come on, let's... Oh, they gave me speed. And good stats, actually, so I'm... Oh, and HP! But I don't think I want to take the razor. I think I'm content here. So, let's say it rose 10 times. Your odds of living... Having trouble phrasing things in the English language right now. Your odds of living to 100 rose tenfold. Screw that, give me a deck of cards. Between 1950 and 2010. That's 60 years. I think I said 50 by accident because I'm an idiot. And if they rise another tenfold by, let's say... I mean, it doesn't even need to be 2050, right? Let's say it rises tenfold by 2060, and another tenfold by 2090, which I know we're getting a little optimistic there, but for back of the napkin calculations. So I don't know. People were talking about broken modem. I'm going to grab it. I don't think that's what we need, but better safe than sorry, right? It would be a 1 in 1,000. It'd be a 1 in 100. Then it'd be 1 in 10. I mean, that would be incredible if 1 in 10 people born around the time that I was born lived to be 100. I don't even count myself in that category. Like, when I look in a room of 10 people, I know this isn't necessarily how aging works. I don't look at a random assortment of 10 people and go, I'm definitely the healthiest one here. Certainly not out of 1,000 people. But who knows? You can always get lucky, right? A couple of the healthy ones get picked off by ill-advised accidents, hang gliding, jet skiing. That's how it works, right? Originally, the Olympic athlete was going to live to be 100, but sadly, terrible accident. All of a sudden, it goes to the guy who sat in a chair his whole life. It turns out, you were right, and your body's like a car. The less you drive it, the better shape it's in. Who would have thought? I would have thought. Anyway, sorry, you need to be destroyed. Thank you. I think you're not gonna love me for this one, but I'm gonna leave that item room behind in order to get to boss rush, where we're gonna get 2 items and one of them is gonna be our choice. And we have the world card, so we're definitely, able to do it. We shouldn't have taken that until we took Death's Touch, which we're definitely gonna take, but so be it. We don't know, so it's risky. I mean, this is risky in general, obviously. Might as well pop 1. We got another world card out there. Come on, dude. This is getting a little silly. I'm giving you, like, everything I got here. You know what? Okay, you're very lucky. Okay, we did all that for Demon Baby, huh? Grab Death's Touch. Get the heck out of town. I don't know. We're going to keep our charges. We might need Hierophant cards at some point. Thank you for the Tinted Rock. Didn't even notice it. Let's get the heck out of town. I think we can make it. I think we got a chance to make it. Let's put it that way. Teleporter would be better, but... World card. World card. So, in the end, we're actually skipping 2 item rooms to do this. Have I pointed out yet the fact that our damage is 33? Yo, I thought that was speed for a second. I got really excited. Rate of fire, not great. Damage, pretty great. Devil card, totally fine. We can't go to our item room, but we can totally go to our shop. I'm happy for the luck ups. Not really worried about anything else. Do we know this? X-Lax, amazing. Great addition. Now, if any of these enemies have like a death animation, we're probably not going to be able to make it, but it's looking solid. Dude. Nothing wrong with this. Are you kidding me? So permanent Polaroid invincibility is super important. Empty Vessel's real good. little scared, though. Pop the devil card real quick. Here we are. Okay. I don't want to call it item sticky babies. I forgot what it's called, though. It's juicy sack. Not that much better in hindsight. Yeah, we'll grab it. I think it's our best option, and, you know, we might not get spiders that often, but when we get them, they're gonna destroy. Okay, so... Whoa, what? Oh, there's bombs. I just can't see them because, the band that sang I Believe in a Thing Called Love is too present here. That's right, the darkness. And the curse thereof. More spiders. I require more spiders. Yo! This is incredible. I was actually, like, on the first fight here, I was really worried. Now I am not worried at all. Everything is eating it. So we're, so far, like, it's a draft right now. Like, what are we gonna take when we leave this floor? And it's the world card for now, but that could change. Certainly not a stars card. Spirit heart. This is a test. Oh, he was about to attack. We got super lucky. And we got mom's knife, which we will not take. Absolutely not. That took like less than 1 minute. Now, I don't know if that's gonna work the same way that, you know, we'd like it to when we go to the Hush fight, but yeah, I mean, at least as of right now, I'm like, it was a worthwhile decision to do boss rush. I don't know how good Juicy Sack's gonna be for us, but we'll find out, I guess. Black Rune, Moon card. Who cares, right? Like, not be like Cobalt and I were talking about it on the NLSS today. You know, backlog revealed. But the more you play this game, the more you get a little bit lazy about it. And I should really like not use that as an excuse. What I should be doing is fighting back against that laziness, talking about the benefit of, you know, constant practice and paying attention to the fundamentals and etc., etc. But what I'm actually doing is accepting that, to some extent, to be lazy, or at least take shortcuts, is human. The better you get at something, the greater the risk that you start to become trash at it. You make like a terrible mistake, right? I think there's like, you can draw one of these charts. I see these charts on Twitter all the time, and they're like, this is how I feel about how to get good at something. And I'm like, you can't just make a chart, right? That's gated by 1 degree, you can make a chart. 2 degrees, you can make unlimited charts. But if you... Look, I don't make the rules. I didn't make this one up. This is a real... Look up the chart theory. I totally made it up. It's extremely good. I'm just being a jerk. For the sake of being a jerk, which is not a good habit. But, you know, it's a chart based on their anecdotal evidence. Let's put it that way. I just walked into a... you know, a sabotage chest there, a sacrifice chest, I should say. And it's always like, you know, you see it a lot. I forget what it's called. It's not Dunning-Kruger or Dunning-Kruger, but it's similar to that. It's like when you know nothing, you know that you know nothing. When you know a little bit, you assume you know so much. And then as you learn more and more, you realize, wait a minute, I actually know nothing. So there's like, I don't know if I explained it that well, but there's like, you start from 0 on a graph, and then you learn a little bit of knowledge. It's like knowledge is on, or like perceived knowledge versus actual knowledge. When you first get started learning a skill, your actual knowledge is typically very low. Your perceived knowledge rises disproportionately quickly. You think you know more than you do, faster than you do. Then, at some point, you learn enough to know how much you don't know. And you go, oh my god, I know so little. And all of a sudden, your real knowledge surpasses your perceived knowledge. You know more than you think you know, but because you know how much there is to know that you don't know, you feel stupid. The other thing is, you know, the higher you advance in learning a skill, you meet people who are even more skilled, and you go, oh my god, I don't know all the stuff that they know. obviously I must be an idiot. But really, like, your perceived knowledge is lower than it was 6 months ago. Your actual knowledge is twice as high. Then eventually you reach some level of, you know, equilibrium, where your real knowledge equals your perceived knowledge, or at least is proportional to it. What was I talking about? I feel like I'm like there in Isaac right now. I'm in like a little bit of a dip. I feel like I am worse at Isaac than I think I am at Isaac. And that leads to me making sloppy mistakes. So what I need to do is remind myself that I'm trash, not to lower my self-esteem, but to incentivize myself to play better, and then we'll never lose again. So we don't need Stompy, but the Hourglass is bad. Blank cards, obviously, like, you can always find something to do with it, but we don't want to get rid of our deck of cards, which has been good for us. And, you know, the cancer item's pretty decent as well. I truly believe that, by the way. You feel the same way in any video game. A good example is, like, fighting games. When you first get started, you button mash. You don't understand what's happening. I'm fine with where we're at, honestly. Might even donate just for maybe a luck upgrade. Then you learn like 2 combos and you stomp on people who button mash and you go, I'm a genius. Then you play somebody who knows what they're doing and you go, oh my god, I'm worse than I was when I first got started. What? But I think it holds true in a lot of aspects in life. I definitely, you know, with programming, I was there. I might still be there. I don't know. Maybe I'm just in one of the bumps. When I first got started, the teacher's like, okay, this is a data type. This is an int. This is a string. This is how you write a method. This is how you write a loop. And I was like, oh my god, I can make anything. I can make Facebook so easily. And then I took a C# class and I looked at one method name that was like, parse XML from SOAP web API microservice, and I went, I have no idea what any of this means. It sounds like something Sheldon Cooper would say during Dirty Talk on the Big Bang Theory. Bazinga. And I'm an idiot. And now, I don't know, I think I'm somewhere in the middle where I'm like, I could make that, but I don't really want to. I do see some things like, especially on Twitter. These people on Twitter, they're like 4 followers. They're like, check it out, I made something in an AR kit that it brings up a HUD in real life and allows you to buy stocks just by snapping your fingers whenever you see one you like. And I was like, oh my god. I have 100,000 followers. You have 4. The roles should be so reversed. You're an actual, like, wizard. And I'm just an idiot. I'm an idiot who cracks jokes, and, you know, perhaps my greatest strength is my seeming, like, mentally ill commitment to a schedule of producing, like, 8 videos a day that are all, you know, half an hour to an hour and a half long. But, you know, I don't think it requires any special skill. If anything, it just requires putting blinders on. Now, I'm not trying to, again, undermine my own self-esteem, again, as mentioned. Just trying to get the curve aligned in the proper way. I think you also see it. Don't take this the wrong way. I love each and every one of my children equally. Except Ruka and Tomo are, you know, top tier. But, I think it's the same in YouTube comments. Where you're like, you know, just because you can point out a mistake doesn't mean you're immune to making the mistake, but you think you are because you recognize it's a mistake. I do so many things in Isaac. When I watch other people play this game, I feel 10 million% better. Even when I watch, like, Cobalt play this, I'm like, what are you doing? I thought you had 4,000 hours in this game, and he does, and he's better than I am. But, you know, watching is empowering, because you're like, I'm learning. And you are, but then when you put your hands on the keyboard, you're like, oh no. I gotta actually do it now. Now, inevitably, probably some, and definitely some, probably a lot of the people watching this, let's see, Bookworm, please, thank you, are better than I am at Isaac, and that's fine too. It's not, I'm not certainly trying to say that I'm the best Isaac player in the world. In fact, if you'll go back mere moments ago, I had pretty much exactly the opposite opinion, as mentioned. All I'm trying to say is, it's very easy to think you're amazing at something. Full stop, I guess. I used to think, this is no joke, I used to think I was amazing at video games. You can ask Malf and Josh. Whenever we had like a group of friends, whenever we played video games, stomped. Not always stomped, but like, this sounds facetious. But it sounds grandiose, dude. That was Cricket's freaking head. I'm not saying this to brag, because in the end, I don't, unless you're like a professional esports player, I don't think being good at video games is necessarily all that relevant of a life skill, even in my current profession. But usually I was like the best. I also played the most, so it's not like I was naturally talented, but I was usually like, you know, we play a bunch of Halo 2, top of the leaderboards. I don't know why I use that cadence. Play a racing game, Rainbow Six 3. I almost said Rainbow Six Threege. Top of the leaderboards. No joke. People were like, you're so good at every game. Start playing video games on the internet, realize not even close, you know? Small pool. Now in my own head, I'm like, I'm the best. Whenever anyone insults my video game playing, I go, do you know who I am? I'm semi-consistently the best of the 8 people I play video games with, and you dare insult me? I had that happen a lot when I was a kid, too, because I grew up in a small town. You'd be like, I am amazing. Super Smash Brothers, nobody ever beats me. Then you like go over to your friend's house who's from another school district. There's one kid there who just completely owns you, and you're like, oh my god. Is this what college is going to be like? And the answer is yes. What do you mean you got 100 on the calculus final? I don't understand. Dude, I'm cheesed right now. I recently got my midterm mark back in a class I'm taking. And I'm not, this is like the most humble brag of all time, okay? I'll just let you know in advance. As we destroy Mega Satan in like a millisecond here. The midterm on the rubric was out of 1,000, which is just stupid. And I said as much to myself. I went, this is stupid. Didn't mark it for like 6 weeks. Got my marks back, I got 1,000 out of 1,000. I know I got more than 0.1% of that exam wrong. Here's what happened. He went, it looks good enough. There's 1,000 out of 1,000. That's fine. I appreciate it. But don't scare me with that 1,000 rubric there. That's dangerous. Anyway, this is a really fun run. It got great. I had a great time. If you enjoyed it, click the like button. It helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.